Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gap Major, and this is a review of the Japanese Tier 3 premium cruiser Iwaki, which has become available for the first time in-game for 2,800 doubloons as part of Golden Week. The only other way you've been able to get her previously has been if you purchase the disc copy of the game. So it's interesting to see that she's actually made it into the game, although it is for a limited time only. Now, Iwaki is a representation of a improved Tenaru or advanced Tenaru class cruiser, which is the Tier 2 Japanese cruiser, and when you compare the two, they do have very similar traits. However, obviously, Iwaki wasn't really ever pushed forward into actual development, I guess you could say. So this is a Tier 2 and 3 game of Capture the Base on Ring on the M2 of a Dirtsky and Aistakas, a Tenaru Akuma in a division with a Nauza, a Phoenix, an Ichisuichi, Kaiser, and a Langley. So yeah, it's pretty much your standard low tier game, I guess you could say. So, in comparison to the tech tree ships, as always, let's start off with the survivability. She has the lowest HP for the tier, and she also has no torpedo reduction. Her HP is only 18,600, which isn't lots, is the nice way to put it. Now, when it comes to the armour, well, she has the trait Compromised, so that already probably should start filling you with confidence. And, well, for a better idea of the armour, it's always best to go back to the port and have a look at it there, so we'll go back there. So, back in the port and taking a look at the armour of the Iwaki. First of all, let's start off with the bow and the stern. This is practically 10mm all over. There is a tiny patch of 15mm, however that is below the waterline, therefore that's not really going to be helping you too much, so let's take that away. Moving on to the superstructure, again this is mostly very thinly plated. Probably going to be causing a lot of overpens. However, there is a small part of armour up front in the conning tower / the citadel, where the commanders would be operating from. But yeah, not really much more to add on that. Going on to the turrets, these are mostly covered in 25mm, which does mean they can ricochet 14-inch AP, which is quite interesting. So does look that the turrets can be maybe a bit more survivable than some, especially down at this tier. As you can see, you have this triangle form of them up front and then 2 at the rear. Obviously what that means is you can only bring 4 of those guns as a broadside, even though you have 5 guns in total. Moving on to the citadel, it is big. It is quite a lot of it is above the waterline. However, it is also the most armoured part of your ship, with a armoured belt consisting of 51 to 63mm, with bulkheads of about 38mm, and a deck of 25mm. So what that means is your deck can actually skip 14-inch AP off, and also your side armour is actually sufficient to resist pretty much most calibers of AP, and also high explosives from 8-inch guns, which is quite interesting. So even though the citadel is big, it's potentially survivable, especially considering her tier and what she's going to be going up against. However, she does have the compromised trait, and I guess the reason for the compromised trait is all of this lovely blue, I guess you could say. Oh well, let's get back to the game. Welcome back. So, moving on to the artillery. She has 5 5.5-inch guns mounted all over the place. It would be the nice way to put it. You have a turret up front, then you have kind of like a P and Q turret as wing turrets behind the bridge. You then also have, I say, R turret mounted towards the rear, and then you also have Y turret. So an interesting mix of turrets all over the place. Now you do have 5 guns, however you'll only ever be able to bring 4 to bear onto a target at any one time. So that does mean you have a slightly limited broadside, I guess you could say. However, the angle of these guns isn't too bad, and considering most of your turret traverse and stuff, you can always kind of bring something to bear at most times. There we go. Oh, looks like we have a Dirtsky who wants to come play, so see if we can get our torpedoes on. And then we'll start continuing to talk about the guns. So these have the shortest range of only 12.2 kilometers. Furthermore, they have the joint quickest reload, which is 6 seconds. They also have the third fastest turret traverse, which is 21.2 seconds per 180 degrees of rotation. Here is hoping that I can actually dodge torpedoes. Very nice, very nice. Now they have the joint highest HE shell damage, which is 2,400 per shell. Furthermore, you're looking at a below average fire chance, which is only 10%, and the second lowest AP shell damage. So very much all about the HE, I guess you could say. There we go. Probably time to use one of those smoke screens. Now, when it comes to the DPMs, this is where the number of guns kind of hurts her. She has the below average high explosive DPM, she has the second lowest fires per minute, and then she's also got the second lowest AP DPM. However, due to my command build, the fire chance is probably a bit better now. Regarding the torpedoes, as you've already seen, she has 2 triple launchers mounted along the centre line. These can obviously fire to both sides, which is quite nice. Angles wise though, it's quite restricted, probably more favourable towards the rear than towards the front, so you are going to have to be putting yourself practically broadside on if you want to be bringing those to bear onto a target. Now these have the second longest reload per launcher, which is 76 seconds, and the third longest reload per tube, which is 25.3 seconds, so basically very long reload on these torpedoes, unfortunately. Now these torpedoes do the highest damage for the tier, which is 16,267, which is quite nice. So she does have the trait Big Yield Torpedoes, which is very true. But these also have the longest range, which is 10 kilometers. Furthermore, they have the largest detection of 1.5 kilometers, and they are also the joint highest speed or fastest at 59 knots. However, what this does mean is that enemies will have a above average time, or actually probably the longest time, in order to respond to these incoming torpedoes, which is partially detrimental, I guess you could say. Maneuverability, she's got the fast trait, and yeah, she is pretty fast. She's the second fastest at the tier, doing a top speed of 35 knots excluding booster flags and commander traits. Now she has the second smallest turning circle of 580 meters, and she has the best rudder shift for the tier of 3.8 seconds. Regarding concealment, she's pretty good here as well. You're looking at the third best detection by sea, which is 9.8 kilometers, third best detection by air, which is 5.9 kilometers, and the second best when firing smoke, which is only 4.1 kilometers. So that's quite nice. Ooh, I was kind of hoping the Kuma wouldn't have AP loaded, but unfortunately she did. Let's get ourselves nicely angled though. This is what I like about the Iwaki. You can kind of switch those turrets around quite nicely. Now going on to the consumables, obviously I guess the big one that people are going to notice is obviously the smoke screens. You get 2 of these. These have a 15-second duration, that's how long it takes to lay the smoke screen. It has a 80-second dispersion, that's how long the smoke screen is going to be sitting around for, and a 240-second reload. She also has 2 standard sonars. Now these will detect ships at 3.5 kilometers, torpedoes at 2.5 kilometers, and has a 90-second duration and a 180-second reload. Things aren't looking favourable, unfortunately, especially with that Mauser lingering around. Now, as always, down in the description will be the modules and the commander build. Commander build is my typical Japanese cruiser commander build using the Azur lane Atago, which I find quite nice because it does give you the ability to have that improved fire chance. Modules wise, standard modules to start with. So obviously aiming systems module 1. Also decided to take propulsion module 2, just because that obviously means that you can have faster acceleration and deceleration, and when you consider that she's already got a very good rudder shift, I can't really fault her for that. Yeah, we should be clear. Just make sure we bump out this smoke screen a bit more, and then we can work the nails are over. Ooh, fair enough. The last thing I wanted to really go over is that she has a special module. She has Aiming Systems Module 0. Now that's quite interesting because it does quite a lot of different funky things. I'll bring it up on screen so you can have a look at it. As always, as a premium ship, she does come with a Type 9 permanent camouflage, which is quite nice. And so let's jump in and have a look at the end screen. 72,000 damage, 6 kills from 131 hits on target, 1 torpedo which caused 1 flooding, 14 fires, so that additional fire chance from Azur and Atago is very helpful. 5 citadels as well. Confederate, Kraken Unleashed, top of the team by quite a hefty chunk. It's tier 3 at the end of the day. It's somewhere where maybe I shouldn't be playing, but for the purpose of review, I haven't really got much choice. And economy-wise, making 214,000 credits with just a premium count. Ship service cost is only 12,000 credits, so not quite. Well, I guess I can say I'm pleased with that in some regards, but also, well, it's tier 3, isn't it? Let's be honest. Oh, well, I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe. Down in the description, as I've already let you know, modules, command build, email address to the channel if you want to send in any of your own game captures, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel. If you're on Patreon, your names will be appearing on the end screen. And until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is